Hello again, friends. Chrissy here at A Little Glam, A Lot of Mom. And although the Chinese New Year has passed, I thought that in today's video, I'd share the resources that we used to study this beautiful tradition, how we celebrated, and maybe you can save this video and some ideas for next year. My spine for this study is their mini literature guide and Chinese New Year celebration packet by Hearth Magic, and also to supplement all about China stories, songs, crafts, and games for kids. In the guide, you'll find the story of the Great Race, the Chinese New Year circle time, so stories, finger plays, poems, songs, dancing, and a game of charades. Chinese zodiac printables like a wheel and coloring pages. Mask craft, including a mask template in color or in black and white for your child to color in themselves. The history of fireworks, along with instructions on making a fire rocket craft. A craft with instructions on making a lucky money envelope, money being a traditional gift given for the Chinese New Year. Making dragon dancers, along with the printable for the head and the tail, again in color or black and white. There is a fun section in the guide with resources for practicing Chinese calligraphy and sewing a placemat. Recipes, lots of traditional fun recipes and recipe cards to create or keepsake your family's traditional recipes. Amber at Hearth Magic always includes fun printable activities and worksheets in her literature guides, like handwriting and copywork worksheets, count and pin it cards, phonetic cards, word search, math worksheets, a memory match game printable, and storytelling puppets. All About China stories, songs, crafts, and games. This is part of a series of books on countries in the continent of Asia, and I found this series on Amazon. I appreciate the lively and colorful real-life style of the illustrations, and there's a lot of educational information in this book. For this study, we mostly reference to the chapter on festivals and holidays. We read about the history of the Chinese New Year, traditions, feasts, Chinese New Year traditional recipes, and traditional gift giving. We did follow this lantern craft guide. For the lantern, we used Strathmore watercolor paper, 140 pound. Some kids used the Arteza Pro watercolor pencils and our Lyra watercolor palette. This festival celebration was the perfect time to kick off a unit study on China, so I referenced to a few other resources for a gentle geography and social studies introduction. We used our globe, Children from Australia to Zimbabwe, Nat Geo's Little Kids' First Big Book of the World, and our Maps Atlas book. Besides just sharing the resources that we used for this study, I also wanted to share a few clips on how I plan a mini unit study, mini being that this was only a few days long. So my first step in planning is to flip through my resources and tab off the activities or topics I'd like to cover in our unit. I'm tabbing off circle time ideas, so a circle time story and finger play. There's also a suggestion for dancing with silks and a game of zodiac animal charades. And so, of course, I'm going to tab off several of the craft ideas, including making a mask, but we are going to put our own take on the mask. As you can see, I do not tab off everything in the guide because I know realistically we won't hit every single activity, and that also just saves some of this beautiful guide to revisit next year. I mentioned already that Amber included an interesting Chinese calligraphy idea for an activity that I can modify for my teenagers' skill level, because this unit study is for our one-room schoolhouse, meaning I have preschoolers through high schoolers. So when it comes to planning, this is clearly very loose planning. I like to think of it more of just writing down my thoughts and ideas and our goals and organizing that. So I am not adhering to any timestamps, and if we do not accomplish everything that I have written down, that is okay. So now that I have flipped through my resources and pulled everything that I am getting inspiration from, I just evenly disperse everything that I have written down, like the activities, topics, recipes, and I disperse those among the days of our unit study. For this mini unit study, that is 3 days. This is finally when I do any prep work for printables. With the Hearth Magic guide, she includes several printable hands-on activities and worksheets for math and copywork. So I will be saving some for next year. This year, what I am preparing will be the storytelling puppets and a game of memory match. For day 1, we watched a few educational videos on the Chinese New Year, including Are We There Yet by Nat Geo Kids, the Chinese New Year episode. We also listened to the story of the Great Race and how the zodiac animals came to be, followed by a game of Chinese New Year memory match and zodiac animal charades. I did not order the book in time, but we did find a fun read aloud video on YouTube. Our craft for this day was making the monster mask. Now the Hearth Magic guide does include a printable template with color or black and white to make your mask, but we found these pieces of bark from a palm tree in our backyard, and so we thought right away that these would be perfect for a mask. We used acrylic paint to paint the wood and also a combination of paint markers. We backed it up with some cardboard as well, and I attached them to jumbo popsicle sticks.
Mama, I just got an idea. I'm gonna draw God. He's a baby God. We had all he was sad because we were only paying attention to Dolly. But now we're paying attention to girls too. I'm gonna start drawing God. Whoops, that's too head. That's his head too small. Oh, how do you like it, Mom?
Love it.
Now his eyes, right, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Always need eyes. How do you like it, Mom? I'm finished.
Love it.
Now I'm gonna give.
After hearing the story, the kids were eager to play with our puppets and recreate the story.
You are wise, little one. Fish first, then you, and then the city. Gulped and gulped and gulped, but the fish bones poked. His throat was much too sore to eat the city. I will come back and devour the city tomorrow.
And day 3 was about recipes, eating, and celebrating together. So we went out to the market to pick up a few things to cook. So we wanted to make dumplings, a beef stir-fried rice with vegetables, some fresh vegetables, onion, garlic, and ginger. And so maybe our food wasn't Chinese New Year traditional, but that's okay. Nonetheless, we made memories, and it was a beautiful week of cultural awareness and more valuing diversity. When I prayed over our 2021 school year, this is where I was led to. Such life experiences, such as cooking and trying foods from different cultures, attending and celebrating cultural events, encouraging cross-ethnic friendships, watching films, and reading history. As a family, developing a deeper understanding that different beliefs, traditions, and cultures enrich our world and lives. And my hope is that through this video, we have inspired you and your family to do the same.